US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said he spoke with his Russian counterpart one day after the Black Sea drone incident. Austin didn't provide any details but called on Moscow to operate its military aircraft in a, quote, safe and professional manner. US says a Russian warplane collided with one of its drones, causing it to fall into the Black Sea. Russia, which has a different version of what happened, says it will try to retrieve the wreckage. Stuart Smith reports.
While the Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov noted after the incident that US-Russia relations are at their lowest point and in a very lamentable state, the Russian ambassador to the US has said his discussion with the US State Department was constructive and there have been no calls from either side for a response. The Pentagon says it'll continue to fly wherever international law allows and called on Russian pilots to operate safely and professionally. The Kremlin said this was another indication that the US is directly involved in Ukraine but didn't threaten consequences. Russia says it will try to recover the drone, but both the Kremlin and the US are uncertain whether that's technically possible, with the Black Sea being so deep. The White House said precautions have been taken to ensure the usefulness of any intelligence gathered from the drone's recovery is limited. Meanwhile, in Moscow, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has reaffirmed his support for Russia's so-called special military operation in Ukraine. He joined Moscow in its interpretation that this is a fight against neo-Nazis and old Nazis. Al-Assad said Russia's actions in Ukraine would aid global stability. President Vladimir Putin claimed thanks to the successful joint efforts of Russia's armed forces in Syria, fighting what he called terrorism, there's now an opportunity for domestic stabilization. Moscow joined forces with President Bashar al-Assad to suppress an uprising in 2015. Stuart Smith, CGTN, Moscow.